Hello, dear viewer. All I wanted for Christmas was to review the IONIQ 5N, and it came true, and it's black. Okay, we're back. I wasn't expecting the winds to be this heavy, so I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not, so I'm going to project. This was a very pleasant surprise by my film crew. We can hardly keep the N in stock, obviously. It is a hot hatch beyond the name, and I thought there's no way that I'm going to be able to review and drive one today, but they snuck it out, and here it is. So before I start ogling over the fact that this is the performance version, we should talk about how the IONIQ 5 is the people's car in my book, all right? Not the model, 3 of these in white at every intersection, not the model, why would you get this, it's got no character, but the IONIQ 5. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about size. It's nice and compact so that its footprint is easy to park anywhere that you need to, but the interior offers a lot of space, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. Second, it's very comfortable, so if you need to drive your parents, your grandparents around, they're not gonna complain. And though comfort typically means that a car would drive a little boring, this is very fun, even in the non-N version. Next, design. Obviously, it's very polarizing, very angular, there's pixels everywhere, it looks like nothing else on the road, and whether or not you like it, that is unique. Third, pricing. It's affordable starting in the low 40s, going all the way up to this IONIQ N, which as built has a total MSRP of just over $68,000, which is a good amount of money, but there's no markup at Tustin Hyundai. Fourth, it's versatile, not just because it's a hatchback / tiny SUV, but because you sit higher so you can see further down the road, which is great for the freeway. That low center of gravity really keeps you planted, so if you're somebody who loves ripping the streets, this is great. And that added clearance that you get makes it easy to take a mild trail to your favorite campsite. Taking 2 steps back to design, the only downside to me showing you an IONIQ 5N is that the exterior is a bit more aggressive than the other trims. I do want to talk about how the other trims did get a refresh, facelift, tail lift. It looks a little bolder and cleaner. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about what makes the N look great. First, you had pixels in the IONIQ 5, yes. However, the N gets that motif and it turns it into checkers so that you know that it wants to race. There's this very aggressive rear diffuser with an F1 style reflector. It doesn't light up, but it looks super cool. Obviously an N badge, but look at these aggressive vents back here, which are actually functional and will probably dissipate a bit of heat from the battery is what I'm guessing, because they don't come through the wheel well, but they are open right here. The wheels. Do I have to talk about it? Just look at this wheel. I think it's the best wheel that I've seen Hyundai come out with. I love the way that these spokes extend all the way out here, and they really lower that profile on an already thin tire. These are Pirelli P0s, and they do grip and rip. Your wheel wells in the end have real purposeful wind deflecting vents, which are gonna bring pressure out of there. Really useful when you're going high speed. And here you've got a fun little orange and accent running all along the bottom. Does that add performance? Maybe. Let me tell you what does add performance, and you're gonna need it. Come to the front. Look at that disc brake. Tell me you'd be able to finish a dinner that you serve on that. It's massive. And look at this caliper right here. Like, you need a plantain for scale. Now the front looks a lot sharper. Obviously you get an N badge, but you also get these bold accents next to your vents, which are functional, and active grille shutters, which you need in a performance car like this. Here's that orange line that continues for a cohesive look. First, starting with a tailgate test, 9.5 out of 10. It's nice and level here. There's a tiny ledge, so if you do have a box that you want to make sure it doesn't go flying out of there, it'll catch, but it's easy to slide things in and out too if you need to. Here we've got a 60-40 split on the back seat, which does recline a pretty significant amount. I'll show you that in a minute. And under here, you have a bit more storage where you can keep your charger, a tire mobility kit, and a hairbrush for days like today. There's no moonroof up there, but you're gonna forget all about that. This car's so much fun to drive. Who needs saddlebags on a racehorse? And oh, by the way, it's a real roof. It's not a glass thing that's gonna have you burning your head for no reason, just waiting at a stoplight. Look at you, Tesla. You've got some extra buttons here. On the left, you've got a drive mode switch, which you'll see in all the trims, and that lets you select between normal, eco, and sport. There's an NGB button on the right now. What does that stand for? No going back? It's insane. It scares me. There's a couple buttons down here for additional drive modes, and there are some synthetic acoustics, let's say, that play through here. Typically, I wouldn't be for it, but it does help you get more in tune with the car, you know, to be horse and rider as one, let's say. It gives you a bit more communication as to how it's going to react, your acceleration and all that. So I don't mind it. I'm not going to talk about infotainment system. We've done plenty of that in the other videos. It's super customizable. Hyundai and Kia, they do a great job with it. So take a look at the other videos. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Down here, you've got your AC controls, which in the case of the IONIQ 5N, you have a bigger center console here. I would guess maybe to separate you as the driver from the passenger, since this is a driver's car. Otherwise, you'd have that open space. So this moves up here. What's nice about that is that you now have a place to rest if you need to get to these buttons. Hard to tell, but these have moved around just a tad to where they're easier to reach even if this weren't here. So good job, Hyundai. I sweat the small stuff. Thank you for doing that too. Down below, you've got plenty of options for charging. USB-C, USB-C. This one could either charge and do data or just charge if you don't want the data to come through. There's a Qi wireless charger right here, another USB-C port, an accessory socket, in addition to the two USB-C ports they had in the back, so you could charge more phones than you can carry people in this car. Behind that, you've got plenty of storage space. I think a whole house cat can fit right here, and there are those hot action cup holders that I love. Lastly, behind it is your armrest with a bit more storage underneath to keep your walkie-talkies or whatever you need to carve the canyons. We should do that test drive now, huh? Yeah. This could be the last test drive that I do. This car's scary fast, so if I don't make it back, please still like this video. Come visit us at Patterson Hyundai. You can still buy one of these. And make sure you tell the next guy that it'll never be as good. Thanks for watching.